They say some places are forgotten by time, but what if a place could make you forget? It starts with a flicker, a glitch in your memory, a name on the tip of your tongue that dissolves into nothing. You try to grasp it, but it's like smoke. That's how it began for me. A town I can't quite name, a road I can't quite remember driving. The welcome sign was rusted through, its letters peeled away by years of neglect. A thick, unnatural fog clung to everything, muffling the world in a blanket of gray. It wasn't just quiet, it was silent. The kind of silence that presses in on your ears, heavy and absolute. I drove deeper, the engine of my car, the only sound in this dead world. The streets were deserted, not just empty, but abandoned. Cars were parked haphazardly, doors ajar, as if their owners had vanished mid. A child's bicycle lay on its side on a perfectly manicured lawn, a single pedal still slowly spinning. It was a ghost town, but the ghosts hadn't even bothered to stay. I parked and got out. The air was cold and damp, smelling of wet earth and something else. Something like old paper, like the scent of a decaying library. I walked past houses with dark, empty windows that stared back like vacant eyes. In one yard, a swing set creaked rhythmically, moving on its own in the still air. Back and forth, back and forth. A metronome counting down to nothing. I felt a chill that had nothing to do with the temperature. It was the feeling of being watched by something unseen, something that had been waiting for a very long time. I found the playground. Its bright colors faded to pastel shades under the oppressive gray sky. The roundabout was still. The sandbox was a shallow grave of leaves. Everything was frozen, a perfect snapshot of a moment that ended abruptly. I felt a strange pull, a sense of déjà vu so strong it made my head spin. Had I been here before? The thought was fleeting, another wisp of smoke my mind couldn't hold. On the ground, near the slide, I saw it, a small, black cassette tape. The label was smudged, unreadable. Curiosity, or maybe something else, made me pick it up. It felt strangely cold in my hand. Back in my car, I had this old, portable VHS player I kept for, I don't know why. I can't remember buying it, but it was there. I slid the tape in, the machine whirred to life, and the small screen flickered. What I saw made the blood freeze in my veins. It was footage of the same playground, but it wasn't empty. The sun was shining. Children were laughing, their voices a ghostly echo from the past. Parents watched from benches, smiling. It was a perfect summer day. Then, the footage began to distort. The colors bled. The audio warped into a low drone. A faint whisper slithered beneath the noise, too quiet to make out the words. The camera panned, shakily, to a family having a picnic. A mother, a father, a little girl. They were laughing, sharing a sandwich. The camera zoomed in on the little girl's face. She looked directly at the camera, her smile fading. Her eyes widened in terror. The screen glitched, and for a split second, the playground was empty again, shrouded in fog. Then it cut back to her face, her mouth open in a silent scream. The tape ended. Static my heart was hammering against my ribs. Who was she? Why did she look so familiar? A forgotten memory tried to surface, a painful, sharp fragment, before it was dragged back down into the depths. I ejected the tape and threw it onto the passenger seat. One had to get out of there. I started the car, the engine roaring to life, shattering the silence. As Primera sped away, the town seemed to cling to me. The fog grew thicker, swallowing the road behind me. I glanced in the rearview mirror. For a moment, I thought I saw a small figure standing in the middle of the street, waving. But when I blinked, there was nothing but the swirling gray mist. The whispers started again, this time not from the tape, but in my own head. Faint, layered voices, like a radio tuned between stations. They weren't threatening, just sad. The sound of forgetting. I drove for what felt like hours, the scenery never changing, just endless road and endless fog. I passed the same rusted welcome sign 3 times. Panic began to set in. Was I driving in circles? Was the road itself just a loop? A trap? I checked my GPS. No signal. My phone was just a black, reflective screen. I was completely cut off. The whispers grew a little louder, a little clearer. I could almost make out a word. A name. My name. No, not mine. Someone else's. Someone I was supposed to remember. I felt a sudden, sharp headache. Another flash of VHS footage played in my mind. The little girl again. This time, she was at a birthday party. A cake with candles. She blew them out, and everyone clapped. I saw my own hands in the frame, holding the camera. My hands. I was there. I was filming it. Who was she? My sister. My daughter. The name was right there. A brilliant, shining thing in my mind. And then, gone. Poof. Replaced by a dull ache and a profound sense of loss. A hole had been carved out of my memory, and the edges were still raw. I slammed on the brakes, the car skidding to a halt. I was breathing heavily, my palms sweating on the steering wheel. I looked at my reflection in the dark screen of my phone. The face staring back at me was pale, the eyes wide with a fear I couldn't name. I didn't recognize myself. Not really. The person in the reflection looked like a stranger who had stolen my face. The whispers were a constant hum now, a chorus of forgotten names, forgotten faces, forgotten lives. They were the voices of everyone who had ever come to this place, everyone who had left a piece of themselves behind. I finally broke through the fog bank. Suddenly, the sun was blinding. The sky was a brilliant blue. I was on a normal highway, cars speeding past me, people living their lives, completely unaware of the pocket of known existence I had just escaped. It felt like waking from a dream. The memory of the town was already fading, the edges blurring, the abandoned streets, the empty playground, the VHS tape. It was all becoming vague, indistinct. I reached for the tape on the passenger seat. It wasn't there. There was nothing. Had it ever been there? Was any of it real? I kept driving, trying to hold on to the details, but they slipped through my fingers like sand. The little girl's face, the silent scream, the name I almost remembered, all of it was dissolving. A deep, hollow sadness settled in my chest. I knew I had lost something important, something irreplaceable, but I no longer knew what it was. The town was doing its work, even from a distance. It doesn't just want to be forgotten, it makes you forget. It feeds on your memories, leaving you empty. Now, I'm just left with a feeling, a lingering echo of fear and sorrow. Sometimes, I'll see an old swing set and feel a strange pang of anxiety, or I'll hear a whisper on the wind and my blood will run cold. I try to tell myself it was just a nightmare, a product of a tired mind on a long drive, but then I have to ask myself, why was I driving on that road in the first place? I can't remember where I was going. I can't remember where I came from. The story I'm telling you now. I'm telling it as fast as I can, trying to get it all out before it's gone for good. I feel it slipping away even as I speak the words. The details are becoming fuzzy, the timeline jumbled. Soon, all I'll have left is the vague sense that I had a story to tell, but I won't remember what it was. And the scariest part, the part that keeps me awake at night, is wondering if a memory can be erased so completely. How do you know you haven't forgotten something? 2. How do you know a part of you isn't missing? Maybe you've already been there. Maybe you're already forgetting. Look around. Does everything feel right? Or is there a strange, quiet space in your mind where something used to be? Think about it. Try to remember. If you can, thanks for watching. Or was it listening? I can't be sure. Just be careful.